Hello and welcome back to the farm, fellow farmers, for episode 2. Farmer Murphy here. As you may recall, when we left off, I was getting these fields subsoiled, and I have done that. All three of our fields are in exactly the same shape as this one, all full of weeds. Interesting thing though, you may recall I had sent a worker off here, actually right from this corner, without doing the outline of the field, and we watched him go down to the end and turn around appropriately. Well, I let that worker go, and he did this field perfectly fine with not having been outlined. So I take that as a good sign. I may not have to do that anymore. Another thing is I did a few fertilizing contracts, and I'll bring up a screenshot now. I completed those before heading off to bed last night. That's why our money is up a little bit. I've been contemplating what to do about these weeds. And I think I'm going to take and get a mechanical weeder and take them out now and see if they come back or not. Kind of like preemptive spraying, preemptive weeding. I kind of suspect it might be a waste, and this after we seed they will come back. But a mechanical weeder does not cost that much to lease. So I think I am going to try it. I'm just curious how that's going to work. And then the next task after that we need to accomplish is get rid of these rocks before we seed. So I think those are the first things that we're going to do. One thing I would like to show you though, just let me run across here. When I was doing the work, I saw this field across the way, and I thought that would make a pretty good field for us to put our olives and grapes in on a bit of a hillside over there. So I think that's what we're going to save up for. And speaking of that, I watched a video that Mr. Seeley P had put up about greenhouses, and they're supposed to be, according to him, pretty profitable. So I think we're going to try put up a couple greenhouses today. That will help us with our income and give us something else to do on the farm. So I'm going to see if I can get a small greenhouse in here and one over here on the other side. It's kind of places I've got earmarked for them because there's not much else we can do with that. So I wouldn't mind getting that done today as well. So, but for now, I'll leave you there. I'll run off to the store. I'll get a mechanical weeder and a rock picker, and we'll get after those fields. I'm back. I leased the exact 600 weeder. It's a 6 meter mechanical weeder. I think that'll do the job for us. So we'll go ahead. I've got it on the steyr, as you can see. We'll go ahead and get these fields weeded. And I also leased a rock picker, the largest one. I can't remember the model number, but I'll update that when we come to doing that. But I've got that leased and brought back here to the farm as well. Maybe a bit of a fool's errand, I know, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. I don't often do mechanical weeding. I mostly spray for weeds, but seeing as the opportunity presented itself, certainly more cost effective if you can do the mechanical weeding than doing the spraying, at least initially. I am kind of curious to try out those greenhouses. It seems like you get just a ton of product from them, so it might be a good way to help us earn money. Because even if you have seasonal cycles turned off, you no longer have that fast growth or plant one day, kind of harvest the next. You still have to wait for at least a 6 month growth cycle. So I was kind of concerned it would take a while for us to, you know, get enough money to expand, and greenhouses may be the answer to help us with that. Oh, just realized I wasn't even thinking it when ended up doing the perimeter of the field. It's such a habit. I'll keep you on board and we'll do a little bit of this. Probably at some point we'll send a worker off and I'll start picking rocks. I did look at the used equipment before I leased this to see if we were lucky, but nothing there we need at all. No weeders, no rock pickers, so no help there. I also investigated whether there was a trailer that we could load these rocks in, because the largest rock picker, or the rock picker with the largest pickup on it, also happens to have the smallest capacity, and it's not that far away to the crusher, but it's still a little way. So I was hoping there was a trailer that we could offload onto, but none of the trailers that are currently available in game will accept rocks. So I guess we're going to have to do a little bit of carting back and forth. You don't get a ton of money for the rocks, but probably will gain enough to offset the leasing cost of the rock picker anyway. Well, I think that's enough of a head start that we can let a worker cut loose on this, and we can start picking rocks. That is a neat looking old tractor. Looks pretty good in the field, I say. All right, well, let her carry on, and we'll get it set up and do some rock picking. I have the Scorpio 550 rock picker set up here on our Massey. Like I said, it has the largest pickup, but it also happens to have the smallest tank. So I suspect it's going to fill up rather quickly. We'll see here. I think we'll sneak out here onto the road and around this tree. I really can't see any texture change with this. Now, as long as we pick up all these larger visible rocks, after we get it seeded, we'll roll it, and if there's any smaller ones we missed, the roller will take care of that. I think we'll do a strip here. Not really down the middle, but it matches the turning radius of the tractor, so it's not so easy or so difficult for us to get around. Make things a little easier. Yeah, it's not filling up as fast as I thought it would, so may not be too bad. I'm not too concerned, like I said, about covering every part of the field, but just getting these visible large rocks off, because I am, as I said, planning on rolling it, and then I think that'll take care of any of the little rocks. So there isn't enough value in the rocks themselves to be worry about collecting as many as possible. Anybody watching think I'm some kind of drunken farmer, I suppose, weaving across the field. Oh, I see our worker is finished. So what I'll do is I will leave you there for a minute. I will get the worker going on the next field. I'll get our rock picker full, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to go and sell these at the crusher, and we'll see what we get for them. So I'll catch up with you in a minute. I thought I'd bring you back in before I got to the crusher just to show you something. I did that first field we were in there 40. When I was done, the rock picker was only 55% full. I came onto this field and I've only done that little bit, that little strip there, um, and we are 100% full. So there's definitely a difference between fields. So there's more than twice as many rocks, I'd say, in this field. Definitely more than twice as many as there was in that field. So I was thinking when I was working over there, I wasn't going to have to make as many trips to the crusher as I thought, but oh, I think I'm going to have to make a few. Anyways, I need to find out where the crusher is, and when we get there, I'll bring you back in, and at that time, I'll share with you where it is as well. Well, I found the rock crusher. It's actually just behind the animal dealer. I'll show you where it is on the map here. So this is where we are at right here. And there's the animal dealer. And we're just a little northwest of the farm. There's the farm there. It's not too bad, except that there's not a real good direct route. But hey, it is what it is. So let's dump this and see what our fortunes are. 190 euros in this case. Hmm. Well, I guess we're going to need to plant crops after all. Raising rocks are not too profitable. Well, I will carry on with this. I will complete this task. I won't make you endure. Uh, Watch me do the rock picking in those fields. And once I've got that done, the next task will be to throw lime on there. So I'll bring you back when we're ready to do that. Welcome back. As you can see, our fields look like they're in much better shape. I managed to get all the rock picking done. And I've actually learned quite a bit while we were away. One thing I learned was I had a worker going on this field actually, picking rocks. And normally when a worker is working and the implement reaches its capacity, they stop. But just a word of warning with the rock picker, that does not happen. It just keeps going. It still picks the rocks up. It just deletes them. So if you're not interested in taking them and selling them, you can just let a worker run, or I imagine the same if you're driving it, and just delete the stones altogether. So I learned that. I've actually been recording this over a couple sessions, and I had stopped to have a bite to eat. And while I was eating, I was watching the mod review that Mr. Seeley put out today, and there was a multi-fruit silo and a multi-buying station. And I noticed when he backed his trailer up onto both of those, that stones came up as a product that he could load or purchase. And normally, if a product or crop is not appropriate for the container you're trying to load, it doesn't show up. Like, for example, no liquids would show up if you have a trailer. So that got me to thinking. I went and double checked. And if we go into the garage menu here and go up and look at the trailers, normally it lists everything that trailer is capable of hauling. And none of them said stone or rock. So that got me to thinking. So I ran out and did a test. And I have to issue a correction because we actually can load our stone into our trailer. In fact, really easy to do. I thought we might need to dump it on the ground and get a bucket or something to load it, but you can just back up and overload right into your trailer. And I swing around, you can see I've already loaded some in there. So I learned that as well. So interesting little break. But while I had the workers going, I also did one fertilizing contract. That was the other thing I was going to mention. Um, I completed one fertilizing contract because the other thing I learned was these contracts don't stay in here all that long. I had actually, when I first came on, there were a couple lucrative fertilizing contracts, so I grabbed them right away to do later. And I just went back to check, and one of them had already disappeared. So I grabbed another one, and I completed one of them while this other work was going on. But I had to put a pause in that action because I needed our spreader here, because the next thing we need to do is get our fields limed, and then we can seed them. So I've got our spreader now. I took the fertilizer out and I've got it set up to do lime, and we'll start liming our fields. Sorry, I had to cut a little piece out of that. My wife had come home with our daughter and the dogs went crazy. Bit of a commotion, that you probably don't want to hear. So we're carrying on. We're getting our fields lined here. The next step will finally be the seeding. Field prep is a little bit more involved if you've got everything enabled on FS22 than it was on FS19, but that's what part of what makes it interesting. You get to use different equipment than what we're used to. And with having the 4 days per month, it gives us plenty of time to get that done. See if we can sneak out here on the road again without getting run over. I'd mentioned the mod that had come out. They have the buy anything silo where the prices are a little better than what you would see in the store. For example, fertilizer is like $18.20 I think for the big bag, and it was about $1,500 out of that buy anything silo. And seeds, which are 800, and I can't remember exactly how much for 1,000 out of the store is like 675. I was thinking of placing that on the farm more for the convenience and the savings, although having the savings will help us, be able to expand a little bit faster. But it'd be very convenient to have it so we didn't have to run to the store every time we needed supplies. So if anybody has any opinion on that one way or another, feel free to put something in the comments. But I'll leave that till next episode. But if I don't get any objections, I think I probably will do that. I never really used this Braidel very much in FS19. When I started playing, there were lots of mods available, and I played mostly with modded equipment. As it turned out, I didn't use a whole lot of base game equipment, so and a little kind of added bonus to get to use some of this stuff that I just never took advantage of before. Well, I'll carry on with this and complete all 3 fields, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to do our seeding. I could keep you on board for the whole thing, but I just do want to try and keep the episodes a little bit shorter. I did go over last time, so in the interest of saving time, I'll leave you there for now. As you can see, I've completed the liming of our fields here, and I have actually reconfigured our spreader. It's now got fertilizer in it, and I have the Mighty Massey set up here with our seeder on the back, and we can start seeding. Now if we take a look at the menu here, we can see that we're in September, and we can plant wheat, barley, and canola. Those are our only choices for this time of year. Seeing as we have 3 fields, I think we'll plant one of each. I mean, I know canola is a pretty good cash crop, or at least it was in FS19, but seeing as it's a kind of new territory for us, let's just do one of each and see how that goes. I will jump in our Massey here, fire it up. Oh, Unfold. Wasn't much of an unfold action there. And I think what I'll do is I'll just set a worker off, but we'll ride along for a little bit. Keep an eye on him here. I do like the look of that old Massey. I think we're getting pretty close to our time, or my target of about 30-minute episodes. So before I go today, one thing I do want to do is I want to get our greenhouses in. So that's pretty cool. We'll jump out here. Now, there are 3 sizes of greenhouses, and I believe it's lettuce, tomatoes, and strawberries. I think what we'll do, we don't have a lot of funds, but I was hoping that we could, right in this area here on each side of our granary, we might be able to sneak a greenhouse in. So if you hit L1 and the big touchpad in the middle of your controller, you can actually bring you right into the build menu. So if we go over to productions and we go down to greenhouses, it's only 3,000 for a small greenhouse. So if it doesn't work out, or if we don't like the location, we're not risking very much. Oh, there we go. Didn't want to come up. We'll spin that around because I think the hash marks are where our pallets are going to be. I think I prefer to have them on this side, and we definitely want to have our water at the end. Yeah, they actually fit in there pretty good. Maybe I'll bring it out so the hash marks. Do we want our pallets right there? Maybe we want the opposite, actually. We'll do it like that. So we'll put one there. And this one will spin around. Oh, that'll put our pallets on the other side, but I don't think that matters. A little touchy. We'll give that a go anyways. Hopefully they won't take too long to pay for themselves, and if we don't like the location or we want to put a bigger one in, we can do that. Now I believe, open this door here, and I think this is where we set what we want in our greenhouse. Yes. So I think what we'll do is we'll do 1 tomato. And we'll go over here to the other side. And we'll try lettuce in this one, and we'll see which one works out better for us. Oh yeah, so we need to get some type of water container. So now our steyer's just hooked to our wagon full of rocks. We'll take that over to the store. I'll take care of these rocks off camera. I actually had delivered 2 loads at just under 200 euros a load, and we've got 1.5 loads in there, so we'll get about 700 euros for our rocks. I thought we might cover the cost of leasing the rock picker, but not even close, but did cover the lease of our weeder. So if we do end up having to lease it again, and we do get weeds come back, not going to hurt us too much. All right, let's see what we have for water containers. I think we need to look under, where is it? Animals right there. It's a Joskin. Don't, yeah, there's just larger ones, so that's, we don't need the any one larger than that. Oh, what? I do like those BTK tires. It's an extra 500, but we'll take it. Okay, back in our tractor, we'll get our water and get our greenhouses in production. Now I have it on good authority, the water is not free um, here on the map, those water points. There is one at our farm, you may or may not have noticed it, but they actually do charge you for water, so I imagine at some point water will bring out a free water source, but as it stands right now, we're going to have to pay. Wow, our funds are really getting down. I don't imagine it's going to take an awful lot of water. We'll start there, and if we need more, we'll come back. Certainly going to take more than that, I guess. Might as well just fill the tanker right up. Oh, we actually have plants shown in this one. Oh, it looks like I might need to bring a little more to that one, but I'll do that one later. I'll park this here for now. And I think with that, we will call it at the end of this episode. So before we come back, I will finish getting these fields seeded. I will run the fertilizer over them. That'll give them our last fertilizing that they need. And I'll probably do a few contracts as time allows in the day. And we'll bring you back in tomorrow on the next game day and we'll see how our greenhouses did. So, if you're still with me, I really appreciate you sticking it out this far. I hopefully you found it entertaining, maybe even some useful information. If you did, please give us a like. Feel free to share the video. And until next time, it's Farmer Murphy signing out.